And we're live again with Marco Ehrenfried, standout quarterback from the Schwäbisch Unicorns, probably the best domestic European-born quarterback in all of Europe. Marco, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me. Great pleasure to be on your show.
Exciting times for the Unicorns. You got the German Bowl this weekend against the New Yorker Lions again. What's the atmosphere like around the Unicorns organization? How are you guys practicing? How's everyone feeling?
We're all pretty hyped, you know. I mean, it's been a couple of years we've been there, but it never gets old. And we're still looking to get that first win now. After several losses, we're really motivated and ready to rock now. And yeah, practice is doing good. I mean, we're doing our best to prepare as good as we can, and how it will work out, we'll see on Saturday.
Absolutely. So what's the difference this year, Marco, than from in previous years? I mean, it seems like you guys have just so many weapons on both sides of the ball. Talk about some of the studs that you guys got on offense specifically.
Specifically in offense, I mean, it makes my life easier if you obviously have two receivers as Americans on the field. That gives you a lot of explosiveness. We were missing Tyler Rutenbeck last year in the final, and he's like great guy for explosive plays. He can take it the distance every play, like he did in the semifinals. He had a huge game, and we really hope he has that great game, or like that great chemistry we can build on, like we had in the semis and the finals. And also the other guys, you know, Roby's doing a good job. He's making a lot of plays, and don't underestimate like guys like Jojo Joyner, who might not make the big plays on the field, but who are huge just because they're so experienced. And yeah, I mean, they just carry the team also. Like he's our voice in our offense. He gives us that hype moment. And I think also on O-line we're doing a good job. We're getting more experience every time, from time to time. So I think all the people had been at the first German Bowl when we played New Yorker. So our O-line is ready to rock, and they experienced now too.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably the most talented receiving core in Europe. You know, you got the two American guys, Nate Robitaille, Tyler, Ari. Don't forget about Ari. You know, 6'6", German-born guy that can run and go get the ball high in the air. You know, and talk about the run game. You know, Braunschweig has an excellent defensive line. How are you guys gonna run the ball on their stout defense?
I mean, we got three running backs. That's obviously an advantage because there'll be always a fresh guy coming in, and nobody's going to wear down. And we just got to win the battle up front. I mean, Braunschweig always showed us a light box when we played them, so we got to be able to block those 4 to 5 guys, or maybe 6 in the box. And obviously, we got to make some tackles miss. You know, I mean, we got to break some arm tackles and just rack up yards.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So, you know, on top of that, Marco, you know, what's it like being, you know, a German-born quarterback? You know, very few teams in Germany have German-born quarterbacks. You know, what can you attribute your success to? And I want you to talk about Coach Jordan specifically and some of the coaches that you've had growing up that have helped mold you into this great quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it is very tough, and it's also a risk in Germany playing with a national quarterback, not an American, because obviously the standards are very high and the league is getting only better. So it's even tougher to go to national guys. And I mean, for me, I was really lucky. I had great coaching from the youth up. Jordan, as you said, just was my mentor until he left for Vienna. And right when he left, Johnny took over and helped me a lot. So that helped my development a lot, and I'm very let's say I'm glad that those guys helped me to get where I am now.
Definitely. And just so our audience knows, I played receiver for Marco Ehrenfried in 2014. I was actually shocked when I showed up for my first practice with the Unicorns. You know, you hear about this big, lengthy Tom Brady-like quarterback, and you don't really know what he's capable of until you see him in person and watch him sling the ball. And the pocket presence and the poise that you have, Marco, is it mimics any American quarterback. So I commend you for that. So along the lines of Jordan, I mean, he probably runs one of the tightest ships in all of Europe. I mean, the guy is so organized. He's all in for football. What else? Talk about what else Jordan does, to have such a great organization, and really talk about unicorn organizations as a whole.
Well, Jordan does a lot of things. He does all the like It's good now?
Good.
Because I heard myself twice. All right. Hey, he does all school projects and really does a great job of recruiting people because it's not that easy. Schwäbisch is like a smaller local club, and we don't have like big sponsors to get players from everywhere around Germany. So what he does is he attracts them by creating a winning team and great team spirit. And that's why people from, I don't know, let's use our linebacker Danny Emmanuel as a example. He rides 2.5 hours to every practice and tries to be there every time just to win. And that says everything about it, I think. And, the Unicorns organization is a very familiar organization. It was even more than it is now because it's just getting more professional, because Jordan is obviously now a full paid coach, and he's taken it to another level, or is trying to take everything to another level. But I think we're doing a great job down there with recruiting and also like getting the youth players out there. Don't miss out on our youth. I mean, they won a championship last year, and there are going to be some good guys to build on for the next years.
Yeah, most definitely. And you touched on it a little bit. It blows my mind every single year how talented and how successful the Unicorns are. When you compare the Unicorns to organizations like Frankfurt or New Yorker, they have a lot less funding, a lot less resources around the organization, but yet they compete year in and year out. What does that contribute to you, Marco?
I think that's coaching, really. I mean, we have limited talent, but we get the most out of it, and you gotta just use your resources right. I mean, we're a smaller city, but the people love football. All the kids love football, so they buy into it, and then you need the coaches and the willingness to work with them and really create great players out of them.
Absolutely. So Marco, talk about outside of football. What do you do outside of football? I know you're a student. What are you studying, and what are your goals outside of football for the future?
Well, I study at University of Heidelberg. I'm going to be a teacher, at least I want to be a teacher. I have like 5 years of my studies behind me, and it's going to be my last big exam in November. So I'm learning at the moment to get that one done well. And after that, I'll start with teaching at the school. And that's what I wanted to do. I always like to work with kids, and I hope I'm going to find a good future in that.
Absolutely. Now, have you ever had any interest in playing ball in the U.S., whether at the collegiate level or even pursuing more of a pro career?
Well, yeah, there was some interest when I was young, of course, because you always heard, yeah, college, that's great. You go play football, that's what you love. But I tried out for it, but really the people didn't want it to take a shot at a local QB, and it ended up to being non-scholarship offers or like just half-paid scholarship offers, which I said, that makes no sense for me. And I kind of quit with the thinking about going to collegiate level. And actually, I'm fine with that. I tried it, and it wasn't working out for me. So I just said, okay, I'll have the best career I can in Germany here.
Sure. And we have a question from the audience from co-founder Marcus Sims. Can you see that? How do you keep your hair perfect? Have you considered modeling?
No, I have not. Even though a lot of people on football tell me, but I don't know, man. It's just I find the right barbershop.
You got to point me in the direction of these barbers in Germany, because every time I see you, you got the fresh cut, man.
Yeah, you got to come to Heidelberg. You're
Yeah.
always welcome here, you know.
Yeah.
Marcus too.
Yes.
Don't want to leave him out here.
We will take advantage of that, man. That is for sure. So, Marco, talk about how football has grown since you started playing in Germany. I mean, it seems like there's way more fans now. You know, there's way more money involved. The talent seems to be even better than it was even just 3 years ago. I mean, why is that?
I mean, I think it's just because there are bigger sponsors. They get attracted by the NFL or others that are in free TV now in Germany. They want to give more money into the sports, which makes it more professional. You have professional trainers who not just only do it as like kind of fun, but they really are just trainers. And of course, then they can work better with their players, what they have. And if even players are paid, they have nothing else to do. So, I mean, this makes everything more professional. They have more time to work, which makes every team better.
And do you see a time when all German players are someday paid as pro players and they can make it a full-time job? And if so, you know, what is that, 10 years away, 15 years away?
Right now, that's a tough question to answer. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, just because football is getting hyped, but it's not getting the hype that big sponsors are attracted, because it's not on national television, obviously. And you don't know, it might end up in 3 to 10 years, it might end up never, or in 40 years. So I can't really answer the question, but I think football is getting a good hype, even in Germany or Europe, just because of the free TV time they have for NFL games now. And a lot of people are giving it a shot and just looking at games and liking the sports. And that's what you need
Yeah.
to start off.
Definitely. And I just want to touch back again on how special of a place Schwäbisch Hall is to play as a small city. I think it's a city of about 40,000 people. You know, you guys fill up that new stadium that you have. Just such town support when you go there as a player. You know, people know you when you walk through the city. They're cheering on the Unicorns. Everyone's got the green on. I got my Unicorns hat right here.
That's the old logo, though. You should get a new one, though.
Well, send them my way.
Yeah.
Bro.
I'll make sure Jordan sends you one.
Perfect. But, you know, what is that? What is that like, having the city support that the Unicorns have? How important is that for the success of the Unicorns?
I mean, it's huge, because if your city doesn't support you, that means you have worse practice facilities, you have bad gym times in winter if you can't go outside. Or we just got a brand new field for practice made, where we can practice outside all the time. I mean, that's a big advantage. And also the new stadium, which gives more flair to the game and to the fans, and we can obviously live stream now. That's like a huge difference if the town supports football instead of other teams. Like I heard from Munich last year, like they don't get the help from the city, so they have to go somewhere just to practice. And we just have a brand new field with football marks on it, so this is obviously a big advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Marco, getting back into the German Bowl, you know, what do you have to look for with the New Yorker defense? You know, who are some of their standout players, and what do you guys got to do to win? What are the keys to victory?
Well, I mean, they got a lot of good players, you know. At this level, you don't get any bad players on the field anymore. They're everywhere around. They're solid to great. And I think we just got to do a good job up front. We got to try to establish a little run game to have them bring more guys into the box so we can open up the passing game. But we're not shying back off the pass. You know, we know we're a team. We're trying to go downfield. We're trying to stretch the defense and then get the running game, the short passing game going. And we're a big play offense. We can score anytime. So I think it's going to be a great matchup. They have a strong defense, and we have a big play potential offense. So it'll be fun to watch. That's
for sure. I cannot wait. And talk about Casey Terrio. What kind of quarterback is Casey Terrio, and what's it like, you know, playing against him? It seems like two of the best quarterbacks in Germany here are about to go face to face.
I mean, he's amazing, man. When you watch him, he's accurate. He can do all the throws, and he's just such a good game manager. I mean, you got to give it to him. He sees the defense before the snap and checks everything his own, which is really tough. I mean, I did that myself sometime, being the offense coordinator and the quarterback at the same time. It is really tough. It's not easy because you don't see all the things that the others see from up off the booth or from the sideline. So you really got to give him a lot of credit. He's a really amazing quarterback. So that's why he never lost in Europe. But we're trying to hand him that first loss on Saturday.
Absolutely. And now, Marco, you have a couple of European championships with the German national team, right?
Only one, yeah.
One championship. So what's it like playing for the national team? What's it like representing Deutschland and being the leader of the German team?
I mean, it's an honor, like always. If you play for your land, you want to give it your best. You want to represent it the best way on the field and off the field as you can. And I mean, if you win titles with your national team, that's always a great thing. Being the best nation in Europe, that certainly does mean something to us, especially when you have the international games like the Big Six, and you see there sometimes the Austrians are not far behind. So that's a great thing, and I'm looking forward for next year to play in the European Championship in Germany.
And last question, Marco, what would it mean for you to win the German Bowl this year? You guys have gotten there so many times in the past. What would that mean for you and the Unicorns to get the W here?
It would be great, not just for me as a player, but for the whole team that worked hard, like 3 seasons, sometimes some players even longer, been with the community forever, and just getting that win also for the fans. I mean, they come to Berlin every time. Some of the fans, it's their 6th time there. The last 3 times we lost, and I mean, they still support us. They're still proud of us, so we want to give them something back too.
Absolutely. And are the fans bringing the train to Berlin this year?
Yes, the train was so loud after 20 hours.
So to give the audience a little background on the train, the fans rent out an entire train, hundreds of fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
The train goes up the day of the game. The team obviously goes up the day or two before to Berlin. When we lost, all the players rode home on the train back to Schwäbisch Hall, and it was one of the most fun things that I've ever experienced in my life. There's a bar, and there's almost like a dance floor on this train. And even though we lost, like you said, the Unicorns fans are first class, and they're there to support you guys whenever. So I hope you guys get the opportunity to celebrate on the train this time on the way home.
Yeah, we will. Just the right way this time.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Well, Marco, best of luck on Saturday, buddy. We'll all be watching, and take care until then.
Thanks. See you then.
See you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao.